So, sports fans and Sky Sports fans, let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBF Light Welterweight Championship.
And every expectation of a good fight here as well. John Coyle refereeing.
You know the rules. Just remind you, I want 3 things. Obey my instructions, obey the rules, and let's see good sportsmanship. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
Bami, who had to flee his native country, Zaire, amid the revolution when he was only 12 years old. His parents sent him to this country. He thinks his parents are now dead. He doesn't know. He was brought up in London by his uncle. So Ted Bami now fighting out of Brixton in the white trunks, and this dangerous South African Samuel Malinga, 23, who has already come to this country and beaten the well-regarded Colin Lynes, forcing him to retire. Bami's often been a slow starter as well, Glenn.
Yes, he has. Sometimes just pretty casual when he starts. You want to see him pick it up and really put the pressure on Malinga early, let him know what he's all about.
But he's a confident individual and he hits pretty hard. There's a lot of sparring with super middles and light heavyweights, that kind of thing. Bami says the light welterweights aren't tough enough to spar with him. Bami, who actually sparred in his amateur days in England squads a couple of times with Ricky Hatton, for whom he has the highest regard, he says. Maybe one of these days he'll find himself in the same professional ring as Hatton, but he has to be winning fights like tonight's if he's going to go that far.
Bami carrying that left hand very low. Plenty of room for Malinga to get a right on.
Malinga looking as if he's just having a look at Bami early on, not doing very much so far. Bami is trained by the former European champion James Cook, a well-regarded trainer, who says that Bami hits so hard he can't take him on the pads. Whether all this is hype ahead of the fight or the kind of material to build up Bami in the public's mind, we'll see. He has to prove it all in the ring with results. He's been getting some good ones, but this is another test again. Sharp little right hand from him, which seems to land around the ear of Malinga there.
Bami just looked pretty physically strong, well conditioned.
This is a big opportunity for him tonight to set himself up as a headline act. White trunks, remember, Bami. Malinga looks circumspect early on.
He does, very much so. I don't know whether he's felt the power of Bami, but he doesn't really want to get involved here.
Maybe this is a prolonged reconnaissance mission from Samuel Malinga, who comes from Johannesburg, South Africa. First time I've heard it described as beautiful in a while by the MC tonight. Pretty dangerous place, if you ask me. James Cook there, centre of the picture. Brian Lawrence on the far side, experienced trainer. It's a good team they've got there with Marvin Stone. He's got the backup, Bami. Cook, who says it'll take a good man to beat him now. His only defeat was against Jacek Bielski, the Pole, stopped in 4, but that was back in September of 2000. 10 unbeaten since. Bami in the white trunks won the first round. I think he just hurt Malinga with one little right hand that landed around by the ear. Malinga seemed to want to hold on after that. Curiously in his shell in that first round, the South African, I thought, Glenn.
Yeah, very much so. He just didn't get any shots on. He just seemed a little worried of Bami. Maybe that he's heard about the punching power, but he did. You know, I don't know if that right hand hurt him, but he certainly just kept out the way.
I think Bami is going to need to get busier as a fighter if he's going to move up in level. I think the longer distance fights might suit him, however. He's only stopped 7 of 13 wins so far, but that's because he's been involved in 4 6-rounders, that kind of thing in the main.
Yeah, but interesting, of his last 7 fights in, he's stopped 5 of them, so I think that power is growing, and with strength and with experience.
In the open air at Cardiff Castle, he dramatically stopped the previously unbeaten Bradley Price with 2 seconds to go. Got to him late that night. Malinga doing absolutely nothing so far. Surprisingly, we thought he'd be busy. Body shots from Bami as they work in close. Bami, who holds his left glove, you'll notice, very, very low, dangling down by his side, which in theory might make him open to right hands if Malinga can find any. What do you think of that, Glenn?
Well, it is very low. Some fighters do hold it like that. Lennox Lewis being one of them, but sometimes you can just turn your shoulder in and that can avoid the punches, but it's it's not the best idea of defense.
Neither fighter what you'd call busy so far. Malinga starts to get going but misses a lot.
You've got one right hand in there, just showing that Bami needs to get that left glove up.
Malinga just starting to get going, but his timing's not there at the moment.
But Bami hasn't done a great deal in this round either, and Malinga's just starting to pick it up towards the end.
Some good body shots in there from Bami, who might be forced to work harder than he's used to here by this South African. Left of the picture there's Brian Mitchell, great world champion at super featherweight, the road warrior they used to call him, and Harold Volbrecht on the far side, who was one of the world's top welterweights for a while. He was due to have fought Lloyd Hannigan, but it never happened because Hannigan didn't want to fight a South African.
And there he's finally getting through the right hand, Malinga. We also heard Dean Towell in the corner.
There's a bit of a Lloyd Hannigan link-up as well tonight, because Hannigan used to manage Bami in the early part of his career. Malinga starts to get his jab going, and if he does, that might mean problems for Bami, who is outreached here. Looks like that anyway. Looks as if he's outreached by a bit more than the tail of the tape said. Significantly taller he looks, doesn't he?
Now Malinga looking to try and get shots off and using those fast hands.
Little left as they worked in close from Bami. He was doing a bit of holding as well. Just a shade untidy early on.
Yeah, the styles aren't quite gelling. They're both trying very hard and missing with quite a lot of shots.
Not the left hand of Bami there. Looked a bit of a slap to me, but it had effect all right. Then a right uppercut from Bami too. Just that bit more accurate and clean with his work, I think, Bami so far. He's trying quite a lot of leather now, Malinga, but he's missing a heck of a lot, you know, Glenn.
Yes, he is. He's trying very hard, not that much getting through. But Bami needs to keep his work rate up because he's not throwing that.
Oh, what about that? He did miss with that one. Down goes Bami, and he might not get up from it too. All over the place. Third round. It's stopped, and Bami's dream night turns into a nightmare. Samuel Malinga, the South African, does it again. Falls into the arms of Dean Powell. They said he'd win. They said he'd ruin it for Bami, and he has.
Well, what about that? Didn't he find the punch? missing with everything, but he didn't miss with the one that counted, and that was big enough to ruin the night of Ted Bami.
Just knocked everything out of him with that perfectly timed shot. Bami hardly knows what hit him, but there was no doubt about it. John Coyle couldn't let it go on. He was gone, wasn't he?
And that's your answer for a low, carrying your left glove too low. He paid the penalty there.
Well, we did point out that, didn't we, early in the fight?
We did. It was very, very low. I don't know if he was just felt that confident or was just cocky, but he paid a big penalty for doing that with an excellent right hand from Samuel Malinga.
Terrible night for him, but this guy Malinga, who looked ragged in a lot of his work until that point. Now take a check on this. Bang, right hand, good night.
And you just had to look where the left hand was. It was down below his shoulder, very low. We see it there. He throws the jab, drops his left hand, wide open for the right.
That's a technical fault, isn't it? Throw a jab and bring it back down by your waist, leave yourself open to a right hand. Malinga said thanks, didn't he?
Yeah, you bring the jab back to your shoulder, and he really did get everything into that punch. Just saw a little gap, and then all of a sudden built it up and really let it go.
Oh, he bounced off the canvas horribly, Bami then. He was on his feet. He tried to protest, but I don't think there's any doubt about it. John Curl got that right. Bami was poleaxed by that. And look at the way he's stumbling towards the corner as if to confirm that the referee was spot on. Now look at Malinga. Just look at that. Into the arms of Brian Mitchell, who knows what it's like to win away, because he always had to fight away all the way through his career. The old road warrior himself. They're celebrating. Harold Volbrecht as well. It's a big night for them. He's come here and he's done it again, and the gamble with Bami's backfired horribly.
That's right, and Brian Mitchell, the road warrior, quite happy to bring his fighters over here if that's the end result, but he deserved it. What a great shot from Samuel Malinga.
Back to the drawing board for the Barber of Brixton, I'm afraid.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Neil Berder has recorded a time of 1 minute 45 seconds of the third round. In the act of rising a count out, therefore your winner and the new WBF Lightweight Champion from Johannesburg, South Africa, Samuel Malinga.
He wins it, and listen to this. Bami's protesting. He told John Cole, the referee, that he thought it was a headbutt.
That shows you how good a punch it was, doesn't it? He didn't even know what he was hit with.
Ted, check the video.
Now, to present the championship belt, we call upon our supervisor, Alex Papafio.
Thank you, Samuel, please. Thank you. Come here, please.
I tell you, Ian, he does now know that it was a right hook, because he's been leaning over the rope, looking down to our TV monitor. And I don't think there is any dispute now that Bami accepts it's been a savage, hard lesson learned. What a knockout. Samuel Malinga, only his 8th stoppage win. Can't have had better than that, can he?